I'm the one and only DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome all of you back here to the channel right here on YouTube.com, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is, of course, the Lightning Flash update for August 3rd, 2018, as we are just a little bit over 2 weeks away from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam, of course. Now, we're going to get things started with the weekly show reviews, but once again, I'm not going to do Raw. Not going to review Raw. Raw was terrible. So I'm going to save Raw for the StormsStream that I'll be doing this weekend. And I've been promoting it, and I'm going to continue to promote it. So check my Twitter if you are interested to seeing who my guest will be. It is someone new, someone who's never been on a StormsStream before. So we're going to kick things off with SmackDown. So Becky Lynch, she kicked off the show saying that she's going to fight to be a champion no matter what. Carmella comes out and she talks about being a failed representative as the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And I find it funny. I find it funny that she is talking about being a failed representative when all the fans have been talking about is Carmella failing in the position that she's been put into. She's basically the female Jinder Mahal. She was a jobber who was irrelevant, put into a position where she's now the main champion, and she went on this reign of terror. To this day, I still don't know how Carmella has held the title for this long. But regardless, I just hope she loses it at SummerSlam. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the creative team on SmackDown Live, I bet you $1,000 that the creative team on SmackDown Live, they know that Carmella is a failed representative as champion. They were probably searching through Twitter, and they found all these comments about Carmella being a failure, about Carmella saying that she can't wrestle. And then Carmella said, people just want me to go away. It's like I've been saying, she has the go-away heat. So, we all know that the only person behind Carmella's championship reign is Vince McMahon, because we all know how Vince McMahon likes his women's champions. But I would not be surprised if the creative team took from Twitter to write this whole segment. But anyway, Ellsworth's music hits, and Becky turns her back, and Carmella hits her with the championship, or she hit her with a forearm to the back of the neck. Carmella brings in a chair. She was going to DDT Becky Lynch on the chair, but Charlotte makes the save. So this set up Carmella versus Charlotte later on, which I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to address the whole situation. We had the second matchup in the tag team tournament with The Bar and the Usos. This was a great tag team match. See, the tag team division on SmackDown Live is flourishing. It's much better than Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw, you got the Revival and the Leaders of Worlds competing in a match with Rusev Day and CM Punk chants. So that's how good the Raw tag team division is. Then take a look at SmackDown, and The Bar and the Usos, they're putting on a fantastic tag team match, back and forth action. The Usos look to be winning, but Cesaro breaks up the 3 count, or the 2 count rather, before the referee's hand could hit 3 after Jimmy Uso hit that splash. Then we had the Usos going for the double loose, but Cesaro caught Jay, I believe, with a huge uppercut as he was coming down, and then Jimmy was caught with the knees by Sheamus, and then Sheamus rolled him up, and next week we are going to get The Bar versus The New Day. Also, I just want to point this out, Cesaro had a custom-made mouthpiece that said The Bar. That's beastly. That is absolutely beastly. Props to whoever made that. Samoa Joe then addressed AJ Styles, and he said that, I respect you, AJ. I respect the fact that you're sacrificing a lot to be WWE Champion. I respect the fact that you're sacrificing a lot to make the WWE title that much more prestigious than it already is. But then he said, But you know what? You're sacrificing a lot, including time away from your family. You're sacrificing a lot, including, not being with your daughter, not being with your wife. He said that, and I quote, "Don't worry, Styles' daughter and her wife," or whatever he said, "you're going to have your daddy back, and I'm going to have the WWE Championship." Samoa Joe is probably the best promo cutter on SmackDown Live right now. Samoa Joe is quickly becoming one of my favorite promo cutters right next to Paul Heyman, because we all know Paul Heyman is the epitome of entertainment. Samoa Joe is the epitome of intensity. And he just has that aspect. He just has that mentality and ability just to get underneath your skin. You want to talk about goosebumps? Listen to a Samoa Joe promo. Now we got Styles returning next week. Can't wait to see what AJ Styles has to say about that. Jeff Hardy then addressed Randy Orton. He called out Orton. Orton answered, but Nakamura, out of nowhere, kicks Jeff Hardy right in the back of the neck. Orton steps in front of Nakamura as if he was blocking the Kinshasa that Nakamura was going to deliver to Jeff Hardy, and then Orton says, go ahead and do it. So Nakamura kicks Jeff Hardy's head into the 8th row, and then Randy Orton just systematically just stomps and stomps on the limbs of Jeff Hardy. Before that, he actually trolled an RKO, and he did a double leg takedown on Hardy. I love that RKO troll. Then he DDT'd Hardy in the ring, DDT'd Hardy on the floor, put Jeff Hardy on the announce table, ripped off Jeff Hardy's necklace, and then he went to the timekeeper's area and he pulled out a water bottle and cloth. Pulled out a water bottle and cloth, poured the water bottle on Jeff Hardy, and just took the cloth and just started wiping the face paint off of Jeff Hardy. And I think he whispered into Jeff Hardy's ear, "Enigma defaced," something like that. But regardless, Randy Orton just being as sadistic as ever, cold and calculated and methodical. This is the Randy Orton that is going to draw more people to watch SmackDown Live. This is the Randy Orton that we are going to want to see in a main event program sooner rather than later. And I can't wait to see what they do at SummerSlam. Zelina Vega defeated Lana. The match was, it wasn't really that special. I mean, if we're being realistic, this was the only thing that was missable. But what happened is, Andrade Cien Almas kept on getting up on the apron when Lana was going for a jump from the middle rope. Aiden English comes out, trips up Andrade Cien Almas, causes Lana to lose the match. And in the back, the dissension of Rusev Day continues. So there is a lot of great storylines going on SmackDown Live. If you wanted a show that is going to give you picture-perfect storytelling, look at SmackDown Live this week. SmackDown Live did a great job at building the storylines towards SummerSlam, rather than just focusing on the wrestling. Daniel Bryan then addressed The Miz, and Bryan basically said that he was calling Miz a low-life coward. He was saying that Miz has been hiding behind this wall that he has built between them because Bryan wasn't cleared to compete. Miz brought up the Talking Smack segment with Daniel Bryan himself and Renee Young, where they were talking about how Daniel Bryan is giving the people false hope and all that. And then Miz said that he's been carrying Daniel Bryan, and Bryan has been riding his coattails his entire career. I like how the Miz is just being that cocky dick-like heel, just trying to give it to Bryan. And then Bryan challenges the Miz at SummerSlam. Miz just said, "Your career's over. Why don't you just let your contract expire?" And then he pulls up a bunch of crybabies on the screen and says, "This is what the WWE Universe sees whenever they look at you." And that was that. Great segment, by the way. Can't wait to see that match. That is actually one of the few matches that I'm actually genuinely interested at SummerSlam. It's the WWE Championship match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, because Becky Lynch has a chance of winning, Bryan versus Miz, and then the Cruiserweight Championship match. Everything else is just filler. We had Charlotte versus Carmella. I'm not really going to say too much about this. This was a decent match. Charlotte gets added to SummerSlam. Look, I understand that people are upset that Charlotte is being put in this position because she just came back and then she just handed this opportunity. I get that, and look, I don't agree with it either. I'm just going to put that out there. I do not agree with it. But I have a feeling that the WWE creative team on SmackDown Live merely put Charlotte in this match just to enhance the quality of the match. Because we all know that Becky Lynch deserves this opportunity one-on-one. But in hindsight, do you really think Becky Lynch is going to bring Carmella to a decent match? Carmella hasn't had one decent match since her match with Nikki Bella back at TLC of 2016. So, why would Carmella all of a sudden become good at wrestling overnight? So, I'm not going to shit on this altogether. I will be okay as long as Becky Lynch wins the title at SummerSlam, because Carmella can't go on with this title anymore, and Charlotte doesn't need the championship if she's going to win the Royal Rumble for the women next year and go on to face Rousey at WrestleMania 35. So, Becky Lynch needs to win. If Carmella wins, I will have lost all faith in the SmackDown Live Women's Division. .205 Live. This was a good show for what it was. It did a nice job at building towards SummerSlam with the Cruiserweight Championship match, and then obviously you got the undercard feud with the Lucha House Party and Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. I can't wait to see that tag team match. Kalisto defeated Tony Nese. Now, this was a decent match for what it was. I have a feeling they might have been holding back just a little bit. The crowd was very lackluster. I don't know what's going on with Tampa, but the crowd was very disrespectful to the main event specifically, and I'm going to address that. But this was a decent match for what it was. Kalisto won with the Salida del Sol. Murphy came out and tried to block Kalisto. Lince Dorado came out to make the save. So supposedly Lince Dorado has a sprained thumb, or a broken thumb, and his finger was in a cast, if you pick that up, if you watch 205 Live. I assume that this is going to lead to a tag team match somewhere down the line. It's going to be a pretty damn good match, if I do say so myself. I mean, anything with Buddy Murphy and Kalisto is great. Just look at the match that they had back in April. We had a contract signing between Drew Gulak and Cedric Alexander for SummerSlam, and I like the fact that they were doing the contract signing in the back, so you could really sense that tension. You could really sense that tension where Drew Gulak is just trying to get under Cedric's skin. You know, Cedric, you're a great champion. You're undefeated in 2018, but what have you done since WrestleMania? When the title's not on the line, you're in the back eating catering. You're going to forever be known as the Brock Lesnar of 205 Live. Drew Gulak is stirring the pot, and the tension has just rose tenfold. So, you can imagine that this match, keep your eye on this match. This match, mark my words, will be one of the best matches on SummerSlam's card. Better than the Universal Championship match, better than Strowman versus Owens, better than Alexa versus Rousey. Trust me. Lio Rush then defeated a jobber. Lio Rush continues to impress. I am very, 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 very much looking forward to what Lio Rush has to offer. I can see Lio Rush versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight Championship in 2019, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Tozawa then came out, and Lio Rush, he basically took a hike. So, Lio Rush and Tozawa, you can imagine that they're going to be facing off once again, sooner rather than later. Cedric Alexander defeated D. Brian Kendrick. This was actually a good match. Look, Tampa, I get that you're tired, and I get that it's going to start off slow. That's how every match starts off. Not every match can start off as a sprint. Alright? This was actually a good match if you take a look back and watch this match from start to finish. It was hard-hitting. It was competitive. Cedric Alexander won. I do not agree with the crowd at all chanting, "This is boring," 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the match, because they didn't even give this match a chance. I mean, if you're going to say this is boring, at least give the match a chance first. We have given plenty of matches chances in the past, And some matches have deserved the "this is boring" chant, but this did not deserve it, because this was actually a good match. Afterwards, Jack Gallagher attacked, and Drew Gulak was going to lock in the Gulak on Cedric, but Maverick came out with referees and said, "You know what? No, you ain't gonna put your hands on him, or else you're losing your opportunity." So I like that Maverick is being that bold authority figure, just stepping into a situation when he needs to. I can see Jack Gallagher versus Cedric Alexander next week. Cedric Alexander having to go through both Gallagher and Kendrick before his match with Gulak, kind of like the Chris Jericho Wyatt family deal, like they were doing. So 205 Live, good show for what it was. I can't wait to see what they do next week. We got a lot of good storylines going on 205 Live as well. NXT. This was a damn good episode of NXT. It was very wrestling heavy, and then the main segment was very straightforward, very to the point, very entertaining as well. Heavy Machinery started off in a match against the Mighty. It was a decent tag team match. Both of these teams can go. Heavy Machinery got their revenge on the Mighty because of the Street Profits. The Street Profits returned, and they were doing their normal dance, going, "I bring the swag like nobody can," with their solo cups. They were going, hey, with the NXT Universe, getting involved in the fun. They were in the crowd, and that caused the Mighty to get distracted, and Heavy Machinery defeated the Mighty. I'm assuming that the Street Profits are going to get their revenge on the Mighty sooner rather than later. Mustache Mountain then defeated Jobbers. It was quick, simple, to the point. And they invoked their rematch clause at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. They actually had a run-in with the War Raiders later on, saying that no matter who wins, we're coming for you. So, War Raiders versus Mustache Mountain down the line, or the Undisputed Era, they're building towards War Games. I can imagine Ricochet and the War Raiders versus British Strong Style versus the Undisputed Era. It is going to be a damn good War Games match. Maybe even better than last year. EC3 then defeated Kona Reeves. I'm still liking Kona Reeves. I don't know about anyone else, but I like Kona Reeves. I love that cocky, conceited, prick-like heel. So, EC3 versus Kona Reeves. This was actually a decent match for what it was. These two went back and forth. EC3 still over as hell with the NXT Universe. Singing with his theme song. The guy can wrestle. The guy's having the crowd chant his name, NX3, and stuff like that. Velveteen Dream actually got involved, but promo-wise, he basically invited EC3 to the Dream's world. And this actually caused Kona Reeves to hit the Hawaiian drop, and he nearly beat EC3. But EC3 kicked out, hit the 1%er, and EC3 accepted Velveteen Dream's invitation. Then we had Shayna Baszler defeating Candice LeRae. This was a damn good match for what it was. It was short, it was to the point, but these two women poured their heart and soul into this match. These two women, they brought the fight to each other with these stiff shots, stiff forearms. Shayna Baszler with those knees and the Karafuda clutch. Candice LeRae, I believe, what was it, like a slingshot jawbreaker. She did a tope suicida. She was going for the lion salt, but Shayna Baszler moved, hit a huge knee right under the jaw, locked her in the Karafuda clutch, and Candice tapped out. Kairi Sane then came out. They had a stare down, and Shayna Baszler just kicked Kairi Sane when Kairi wasn't looking. So the tension for the women's match is already starting to build. You can imagine that this is going to be a must-see match in Brooklyn as well. William Regal announced that at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, it will be EC3 versus Velveteen Dream, and then Ricochet versus Adam Cole for the North American Championship. Also, Ricochet will be in action next week, and Keith Lee, bask in his glory. He will be making his NXT debut next week. I cannot wait to see what Keith Lee can do. I'm not all that familiar with Keith Lee, but I'm going to see what he can do next week on NXT television. Tommaso Ciampa and his NXT Championship celebration. Oh my God. He was just bragging about it. He's talking to the title. It's like, Wow, I think you deserve me too. We make such a great couple. He was sitting on top of the turnbuckle, holding it going, whoa, whoa, it's heavy. It's heavy, guys. And then he went out to confront the people in the front row, getting in a granny's face, saying that, this is my title now, and I'm your NXT champion, and just, bragging about it to everyone. He was saying that once again Johnny Gargano loses and I win. Tommaso Ciampa, the way that he just comes off in that asshole-like fashion, just saying that, I don't care about anyone. It's so funny. It's so funny in a dick-like way. Tommaso Ciampa and his work as the top heel in NXT is phenomenal. But Black and Gargano came out. Actually, Gargano ran past Black as Black was walking toward the ring. Double leg takedown, started punching down Tommaso Ciampa. And then Johnny said, what, this is now your NXT, not as long as I'm still breathing. The only reason you're champion is because of me. Black hits a huge Black Master Gargano and said, yes, I agree. So this is obviously building towards that triple threat match at TakeOver, which I will be there live for. And I'm doing some fan interviews before the event, so anyone who wants to come talk to me, give your thoughts and predictions on the show, I will be there, and you could be one of the lucky people that will be on my channel. But a great episode of NXT. Now on to the news, rumors, and reports. First one I got here comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. According to Dave Meltzer, Dolph Ziggler is expected to retain the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam and start a build toward a match with Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. So Drew McIntyre winning the Intercontinental Championship at Hell in a Cell, I'm all for it. I think that would be a damn good idea. I think that would be a damn good match. I think that would be a damn good feud. And I think that Drew McIntyre could get another IC title reign under his belt. Hopefully that will propel him into a world title role in the near future. So I like it. My next notification comes from Bleacher Report. Speaking of a notification, Bleacher Report actually sent out a notification for those of you who have Bleacher Report on your cell phones, the Bleacher Report app. They sent out a notification saying that ex-UFC fighter and independent champion Matt Riddle has signed a long-term deal with WWE. Other sources, such as Ringside News and BodySlam.net, have also confirmed Matt Riddle's contract signing. So, I expect to see Matt Riddle at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. I'm not all too familiar with Matt Riddle because I don't really watch that much independent wrestling, but we're going to see what Matt Riddle can do. I'm looking forward to seeing what Matt Riddle can do in NXT. My next report comes from Cage Side Seats. And they reported that Nia Jax is supposedly dealing with some sort of injury, which is why she has been out of Monday Night Raw for the past couple of weeks. Now, I'm not completely sure what this injury is. I haven't heard too much on this injury, but if I do, I will be sure to keep you guys posted. But Nia Jax, she isn't really doing anything. She lost a Raw Women's Championship match. She was probably injured in that Extreme Rules match, probably by a chair shot or a kendo stick shot. Maybe she got a concussion from that DDT on the chair, but regardless, Nia Jax isn't really doing anything. She's really not going to add that much value to Monday Night Raw. And my final report that I got, according to PW Insider, Mauro Ranallo, the bipolar rock and roller, is expected to announce the Mae Young Classic. And that is a great decision because Mauro Ranallo is without a doubt the best damn commentator in the WWE right now. Right next to Corey Graves and Nigel McGuinness. What we have over here in Mauro Ranallo is something special, and I really do hope one day that WWE sees what Mauro Ranallo is really capable of, and they put him on the main roster, because when he was doing his thing with SmackDown Live, he was at the top of his game. He was at the top of his game. So if you put Mauro Ranallo back on SmackDown Live, maybe even put him on Monday Night Raw, that would only enhance the commentary team. That would only enhance the commentary team to the point where the commentary team is going to make even a match that has no meaning behind it that much more exciting. Like the Velveteen Dream versus EC3, it doesn't really have any meaning behind it other than the fact that EC3 is mad that the Velveteen Dream walked out on him at NXT in Royal Albert Hall in the UK. So, Mauro Ranallo, good idea for him to announce the Mae Young Classic. He's going to make every single match just as exciting as if it were a championship match on NXT television. So I can't wait to see what they do with the Mae Young Classic. I'm going to call, what's that one Japanese sensation, Io Shirai? Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, the Japan fans are going to be pissed at me that I don't know this girl's name, but Io Shirai and possibly Caitlyn or Toni Storm is going to make it into the finals. And I think that should be the main event for Evolution. But regardless, guys, this has been the Lightning Flash update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TheDJStorms. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to check out the channel this weekend for the 4th annual special edition StormsStream with a special guest who you have to go check on Twitter to see who is going to be coming on my channel. Never before seen, or never before heard, rather. Also, go follow Wrestling Express on Twitter at WExpressNation. Go follow and join the group on Facebook. The group, not the fan page, Wrestling Express, created by Tommy McGrogan. Shout out to him. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Lightning Flash Update. I'm DJ Storms. You have a great weekend, and I will see you later on this weekend for the 4th annual special edition StormsStream.